In 2020, I shut down my first F&B business and went all in on the second one, a logistic business. I had one rented truck, 3 workers, and me. For the first 5 months, I was the driver. I drove the workers, took sales call from the driver's seat, quoted customers at red light, and even ate lunch in the truck. Then, I hired a driver. And I thought the worst was behind me. It wasn't. So, between 2020 and 2023, I was running a business that made me cold hard cash. But do you know what's the downside? It was a business that couldn't survive without me. I was the main person running the business. And I worked 12 to 16 hours nearly every single day, trapped inside a business that I built for myself. Today, I run 4 companies and 3 of them, they are fully operational on their own. So, how did I actually get out? It was one thing that I figured out in 2023, and that changed everything. My name is Max Zen, and I've been building real businesses for the past 9 years. Some still running, some I've exited. Today, I manage over 40 people across 4 different industries. So, by the end of this video, you will know if you have actually built a real business or just a job with a logo on it. I'm going to show you what being trapped in my own business for 3 years actually looked like, how I got out using 3 simple moves, and how you can apply the same moves in your own business so you don't make the same mistake as I did. When I talk about being stuck in your own business, I'm speaking from experience, not some theory from books out there. Now, let's rewind back to a 2020 on a Wednesday morning. I had the same morning routine for 3 years. I wake up and the first thing I did was reaching for my phone, not to check the news, not to play Candy Crush, but to check if any of my workers were not coming in for work. See, the thing is, our manpower allocation for the day job was pre-planned. So, if even any of them didn't turn up for work, the operation would be affected. And that was just the start of the full chaos. On some days, it may look something like this. A client calling to demand where their team was. Another client calling to complain that our team has damaged their walls. A worker calling to explain that the new driver had made the wrong turn and now we are 30 minutes late to the next job. Another worker refusing to do the job because the item was too heavy. And on the side, sales enquiries were popping in through the very same phone. So by afternoon, I was already multiple problems ahead. Now, if you are a business owner running any kind of service-based business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is what my day looked like for 3 full years. Just me and my phone, and a waterfall of issues I had to solve. I was the person who handled every single thing in the business. Every client, every worker, every quote, every complaint, every problem. It was just me. I have seen and solved so many problems that my brain became so wired for it. I could sense a problem before it happened and solve 5 things all at once without looking troubled. Not bragging, but any business owners would be able to understand me. But here's the catch. Every problem I solved made the business more dependent on me. Every shortcut I invented only worked for me. And every fire I put out, only I could do it. But the problem is, I never realized I was actually building a cage for myself. And the bigger the business got, the tighter the cage becomes. By then, I had 3 trucks, 7 guys, 2 warehouses, and real money coming in. The business was growing, and so was the cage. And one day, in 2023, I realized something. I wasn't building a business. I was creating a job that I couldn't escape. So, what did I do? Well, I sat down, and the first thing I did was to let go of a firm belief I had. The belief was that nobody else could help me run the business. Not because I was cocky, it was simply because I genuinely felt nobody could do the job the way I did. See, I've been through so many encounters over the years. Workers throwing tantrums, clients refusing to make payments. Those are just some of the problems. To give a proper quotation in logistics requires a sea of experience and knowledge. Someone couldn't simply come in and provide the correct quotation to clients. Every time I thought about hiring someone to manage these things, this person definitely needs 2 years just to catch up. it will work. But that was the belief I had to let go of. So I let it go and I started hiring. I made my first 2 hires, one for sales, one for operations. And almost immediately, I realized 2 wasn't enough. Sales was coming in faster than one person could handle. Operation was a war zone every day. That's when I figured out something I didn't realize for 3 years. I wasn't doing a 1-person's job. I was doing a 4-man job. So I expanded to 4. 1 more for sales and 1 more for operations. And they work in shifts, covering the entire operation. And for the first time in 3 years, I wasn't the only one in the business. I had a team. By the end of 2023, we have grown to 5 trucks, 2 vans, and total full-time headcount, 16. And for the first time in 3 years, I wasn't the only one in the business. I had backups. So that's how I got out. And if someone had given me 3 advice in 2020, it would have saved me 3 years. So here are the 3 advice you can take right away. First, write down everything you actually do. Every call, every quote, every decision, every problem you sorted out, every time a worker messaged you, every time a client wants to talk to you, write it all down. Most founders don't do this. They feel busy, but they can't tell you what they are busy with. And that's the first problem. Group the tasks: sales, operations, admin, and you are going to realize that most of what you're doing isn't really special. It just feels special because you are the only one who's ever done it. You can't fix the trap until you can see it. And this is how you see it. Second, let go of the belief that nobody else can do your job. I held that belief in me for 3 years and I was wrong. Yes, you could have more experience than anyone else, but the thing is, experience can't be transferred. Give the right person some time and they'll surprise you. And you can't simply dismiss that belief in your head. You solve it by finding someone who proves you wrong. So, the real question isn't can someone else do your job, it's whether if you can find the right person and are you willing to give them what they want to work for you. Most founders fail here, not because the right people don't exist, but because they want experienced people for peanuts. They want someone who will treat the business like it's their own, for the price of someone who treats it like a job. And that's not how it works. So, when I built my management team, I paid above market, way above. And I told each one of them that the first week is the real test. If they can't reach my expectation, they'll be asked to leave. Looking back, I've asked at least 10% to leave within their 3 days of work. Third, hire first. Don't wait until you feel ready. This one is the hardest because it really tests you as a founder. It tests your trust, your judgment, and your willingness to invest money in the hire before you see results. And most founders never pass this test. You tell yourself you'll hire when the money justifies itself, or when the timing is right, or until you find the right person. And you realize that years from now, you haven't even progressed. I have seen it too many times with business owners. The reason is this: you never feel ready for something that you're doing all the time. It takes courage to trust and let go. So, hire anyway. The biggest growth I ever had came only after I built my management team. Not before. Not because the results were there from the start, but because the moment they took the operations off my hands, I had the time and space to grow the business, to work on the business instead of working in the business. And the growth would justify themselves within months. And if I had waited until all the stars aligned, I would still be in that cage today. So, those are the 3 things that you can do, and they are the difference between running a business and being run by one. If you have watched this whole video, you already know which one's stopping you. Being the hardest working person in your business isn't something to be proud of. It's what's stopping your business from ever reaching its potential. I will see you in the next video.